It's time for Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
A look at the weirdest stories from our weirdest state.
There's a heavy helping of weird in this first story, and I'll tell you one of the reasons. Because the victim in this story, the victim of a punching attack, is a bartender. Now, that in itself, you might say, well, you know, bartenders do get into some scrapes once in a while with patrons who are overserved. But the bartender is 97 years old.
What?
Yeah. A 24-year-old woman arrested. She punched a 97-year-old beloved bartender in the face. This during an altercation at Hurricane Tina's bar in Fort Myers, Florida. Betty Kai was bartending, minding her own business, when Sarah Powell, the 24-year-old, walked into the bar, claiming to be the owner's sister. Kai said, "I know the owner very well, and I know you're not her sister," but said that the owner would be coming in later. Then she went over and sat at one of the video games, but after a few moments, this is the woman, the 24-year-old, she came back to the bar and began ordering drinks from the how old is she again? 97. 97-year-old. Yep. According to the arrest report, the 97-year-old said that she wasn't going to serve her any alcohol because she was already intoxicated, so she was refused service. When she was denied service, the 24-year-old became very agitated and aggressive. The 24-year-old began threatening the 97-year-old bartender and approached the entrance of the bar. When the entrance was blocked by the 97-year-old bartender so that she wasn't getting behind the bar, the 24-year-old grabbed her forearm, tried to push her away, and as she pulled away, the 97-year-old, the 24-year-old punched her in the face. After she was hit, multiple people in the bar restrained the 24-year-old, escorted her out of the bar, and locked the doors. Well, the bartender suffered multiple cuts to her right forearm. Her cheek was reddened and slightly swollen. But she's 97. And look at her. God, I hope I look that good when I'm 97. I'll be decaying in the ground, so it'll be hard for me to look that good at 97, but it really is amazing. Well, the woman who began this whole dust-up, arrested, faces several charges, including battery on a person over 65 years or older. Good for them for having an enhancement. If you hit a 97-year-old bartender, you ought to be, in my judgment, treated incredibly harshly. Meantime, on the other side of Florida, a man on a golf cart accused of drunkenly fleeing from deputies at the Villages, everybody. More lawlessness at the Villages. They're all jacked up on God knows what. They've got the dope. They've got the alcohol. They've got the Viagra. The Villages is crazy. This guy drunkenly riding a golf cart illegally, arrested after taking a deputy on a wild chase. It was 1 a.m. A deputy saw the red golf cart traveling in the middle of the roadway, taking up both lanes illegally. He attempted to conduct a traffic stop, but the man didn't stop. For a short time, the golf cart driver, who was not a senior citizen, 21-year-old Christopher Esdale, illegally drove on and off roadways as deputies followed him with sirens blazing, lights activated. At one point, the deputy said he pulled his car out in front of Esdale, who then drove into the grass in an attempt to evade law enforcement. This guy was committed to getting away from the cops in a golf cart. He had watery, glassy eyes, slightly slurred speech, and a very strong odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from his breath. And who can't respect that? They saw a bottle of whiskey appear to have fallen from Esdale's golf cart. They arrested Esdale, and he is relaxing in custody. A Florida man stole from Walmart, and when asked why he stole, he said, "I don't know why. That was stupid of me." No. He has found himself behind bars. He took several items from Walmart, hid them inside a trash can. And when the authorities booked him, he said he didn't know why he did it. Eric Slaughter is his last name is Slaughter. Maybe an unfortunate name for an arrestee. He's 38 years old and on the Mark Thompson show booking scale meter. I'm going to give him a solid 7. Again, 7.5 maybe even. Anything, Albert?
7 around there. He already has the prison buzz cut, and he's got the tattoos showing a little bit, like a 7.5 maybe 7.
Yeah, 7.5. A lot of people giving him something around a 6. The toughest judge is Uncle Russ. He gives him 3.5. Solid 6, says San Jose Lola. Kind of a mysterious 6. Yeah, he does have an air of mystery about him. He's kind of got that, bad boy thing going.
And, well, we don't like to use any other factors, but the last name's very cool. Very wrestling.
That's
very
true.
Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah.
The last name is Slaughter. Deputies responded to the store. They met with the store detective there who said that Slaughter brought a plastic trash can, also had another trash can that had other items inside that he didn't pay for. Inside the second trash can was a solar light valued at $30, a pair of $25 shoes. It's always interesting to see what people steal. And he had a pair of $25 shoes that had a switch tag for a 74-cent fishing dauber. Anyway, in total, deputies added up $80 worth of items that were taken from the Walmart without being paid for. He apologized. He said it was stupid of me. And
my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, when they asked him why he took the items without paying, he said, "I don't know." No, that's, if nothing else, it's honest. A man accused of intentionally exposing himself at Marco Island's Marriott pool is now in custody. He was flashing his genitals, everyone, while drunk. I hope you're just the
It was wrong,
drunk.
it was stupid, and I'm trying to be a better person.
Yes, thank you. It was a Tubin-esque moment. Although this guy really intended to flash them, I think Tubin was not intentional in his flashing. Deputies identified the suspect as Alberto Hernandez, 51. If you can't show your genitals at 51, when can you show them? He was speaking very loudly, flailing his hands while arguing with deputies. And on the booking photo meter, I'm going to give him, again, it's somewhere in the 6 neighborhood, What do you think, Albert?
I'd agree. He has he did the uppering his chin. He has
Yeah,
that angle
exactly.
to kind of,
A little defiant, maybe?
Yeah.
Francine gives him an 8. Wow.
His mouth kind of he's chewing on some, I don't know.
Not regret. He's not chewing on regret.
Not chewing.
3 adults staying at the hotel told deputies that Hernandez had grabbed their phones and walked away after they had wrapped them in a towel and left them at their table. So he was creating other problems. And while deputies were sorting all of this out, 2 women came up and told them that while they were in the hot tub with 7 other women, Hernandez came over and exposed his genitals and began playing with himself. Well, this is a guy who really, there were bystanders in the area and children. He was arrested. I also want to say, being a cop in Florida, I understand you do get into some pretty tough spots, but it seems like there's a lot of this. People are drunk, they're on a golf cart, they're exposing themselves at the pool. Just saying, these are situations that if I were a cop and I knew that that's all I was really going to be dealing with, it would be much easier.
You could have added the Gators too, though, Mark.
That's true. Yeah, Gators at
They're
the.
very creative with their weapons, the machetes, the swords. I love.
Oh,
I
you're
love a
right.
good
All
sword
right.
story.
Yeah, I don't think I'm cop material in Florida. I'm not.
But maybe you could also wield a sword. That'd be great. You'll be
Yeah, well, there's that too. I mean, I think I'll need some training, but thank you. A Florida man accused of stealing from a Dallas funeral home, maybe a serial criminal. That's right. He's a Florida man who's been stealing from funeral homes. He may have committed these same crimes of stealing from funeral homes across the Southeast. He's been stealing mortuary stretchers from funeral home transport vans. This is a very specific kind of ripoff. These are the medical stretchers that funeral homes or medical examiners' offices use in the transport of remains. In early May, a stretcher was stolen out of a vehicle, and on the same night, someone smashed the window of a van at a funeral care spot in Georgia. That's why they think the whole thing might be going on. This is kind
with
of
your iron rod.
Yeah, he smashed that window and grabbed that stretcher. Investigators linked both crimes to the same man, Michael Christopher Johnson, 56 years old, out of Florida. There he is. And again, I'm going to give him a 6. Nothing special.
Yeah, middle of the road. He does have the classic three named criminal. He's a
three named criminal, and I'd say he could be, he could be the guy next door, the troubled guy next door. A new stretcher can cost $1,500 or more. Johnson tried to sell the stretcher that he stole for $1,000. He tried to sell it back to the funeral homes, some of them, from which he'd stolen the stretchers. So that is really a very...
It's a wild idea, but it just might work.
Actually, it's a really bad idea. Multiple charges filed against him. And this, a man killed after the Florida roommates shoot at each other with what they thought were unloaded guns.
What?
That's right. A man is killed after the roommates shoot at each other with what they thought were unloaded guns. It would have to happen in Florida, and it did. Just before 5 o'clock in the evening, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office got the call. 49th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, Florida. Kevin Bishop, 50, on the floor with a gunshot wound to the chest. His roommate, 57, also in the home. You think, this is the stuff that like 20-somethings do when they get drunk.
Yeah, like young men, just boys being boys.
Yeah. You don't think that guys in their 50s are pulling this crap. The two men were drinking alcohol when Bishop, again, the 50-year-old, showed his roommates several of his firearms, which he claimed were unloaded.
I'd be willing to bet my lunch that there's alcohol involved.
At one point, the men both pointed firearms at themselves and each other. Detectives said that when Bishop grabbed a Glock 21 from his roommate, the roommate released his fingers from the gun and a bullet went into Bishop's chest. Bishop was taken to a nearby hospital where he later died. And finally, that was finally, wasn't it?
That was our last story. Yep.
Yes, we finished with the drunk roommates who shoot each other. I like it. I thought we really stuck the landing. Nice job, Albert. We have to pick a favorite. We don't want to pick a favorite, but we must. It's required in the bylaws of the show, so let me review for you. And please do leave in comments what you feel is your favorite. The Florida man on the, first of all, the 97-year-old, the bartender, she is a 97-year-old bartender. She is punched by a 24-year-old who was already overserved and denied additional drinks. A Florida man on a golf cart accused of drunkenly fleeing from deputies in the Villages. A Florida man stealing from Walmart. When asked why he did it, he said, "I don't know. It was stupid of me." A man accused of intentionally exposing himself at Marco Island's Marriott pool. A Florida man accused of stealing from funeral homes, a serial criminal who may be affecting all of the Southeast. And a man killed after he and his roommate shoot at each other with what they thought were unloaded weapons. Again, don't want to pick a favorite, must pick a favorite. Albert, what is your favorite? First, tell me which one is the favorite in the chat, please.
The Villages golf cart DUI. That would have been my choice if it were an actual Villages member, like an elder or one of our...
you disqualified it for you because it was a 21-year-old?
Yeah, it's just it would have been the choice. But I like I titled it Roommates Unloaded. It's boys being
Very
boys.
good.
They're a bunch of 50-year-olds, and I mean, I'd feel a little worse about it happening if it weren't the situation, but they were aiming at each other, and that's what happens.
Yeah. This is tough. For me, it's the pure insanity of a 97-year-old bartender and the 24-year-old drunkie who comes in and demands more alcohol. It feels very Florida to me, but the two guys are arguing with weapons that they claimed were unloaded. They're drunk. It's between those two. I'm going with the 97-year-old bartender getting punched. I'm sorry. That's just my choice. There are no right answers.
Even without the punch, that's still a Florida story. There's a 97-year-old who's a bartender. Like, that's pretty Florida to me.
That's Friday Fabulous Florida for today.
This has been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now here.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.